What's happening, guys? It is I, your old pal Griz, and I'm back at it. I'm back on the battlefield for a little more these days as that new game smell of Hardline has wore off a little bit. It's always sad when that happens a little bit, but you know, hey, what can you do? So, I know you guys, some of you have probably been missing my weekly reviews of Battlefield 4 weapons, so I would like to offer my heartfelt apology for that. I am sorry, guys. So here we go. I'm gonna get back on the saddle here and really try my best to get a weekly review out to you once again. So welcome back to Guns with Griz. This week I'm gonna feature an LMG that was suggested to me on the last episode by a dear old friend of mine, Mr. Private Quantum. Quantum wanted to see the LSAT, and I am more than happy to oblige, although, if I'm being honest, not 100% thrilled about it at the same time. I'm not thrilled about it because I really am not a huge fan of the LSAT, but let's not get too deep into personal opinions right off the bat. First and foremost, this setup here is the first loadout I wanted to share with you guys. It consists of the Cobra sight, laser, and, well, for now, suppressor, but later, flash hider, and the stubby grip. This is pretty much the quote-unquote best setup for using the LSAT on maps like Pearl Market here. There we go. You'll notice I started with the suppressor, but I quickly realized that I needed to shed that as it kills your damage at anything outside 8 meters. Now, but let's get into the review before wasting any more time. Let's start off with the stats for the LSAT, kindly yet unknowingly provided by Synthic.com. The LSAT does a maximum damage of 24 and a minimum 18, fires at a rate of 650 rounds per minute. This belt-fed light machine gun has a 100 round max capacity, reloads in 5.9 seconds, and has a muzzle velocity of 620 meters per second. The LSAT has some of the lowest overall recoil values, featuring a pretty steady 0.25 on all sides. So for those of you who like low recoil weapons, the LSAT might be worth taking a look at. Now normally when I review a weapon, I'll start with the good and then move on to the bad. That's just the kind of person I am, always looking for the good. However, when it comes to the LSAT, I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm really not a huge fan, and I mean, I'm not entirely sure what it is that makes me not enjoy the LSAT, but I'm guessing the time to kill has a lot to do with it. It seems to me, at least, like the time to kill on the LSAT is a tad longer, than some of the other LMGs in the class. As a result, I've come to refer to the LSAT as the assist machine. And as you can see in the gameplay too, you'll notice many kill assists in this video. It's not even funny. I should have had so many more kills playing these games, but it was like half the time my teammate, who was tardy to the party, shows up and puts one bullet into the guy and picks up my kill. Jerk faces, all of you. Obviously, I'm kidding with that last remark there, but my point still stands. The LSAT is an assist machine, and I'm pretty sure the reason for this lies in its damage model and the rate of fire, like the combination of the two. While the damage model is not in itself bad, the problem becomes a little more apparent when you notice that the LSAT's rate of fire is only 650 rounds per minute. This is a little bit on the slow side when you see the likes of the MG4 and the M249, who both have an 800 round per minute rate of fire, but still share the same damage model as the LSAT. So obviously the LSAT is gonna take a little longer to put an enemy down, and this is my major gripe about it. The rate of fire is too low for its damage output, causing the time to kill to rise. If you like a slower, steadier firing LMG, there are still better options out there than the LSAT, like the M60 or PKP Pesheneg. I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, that's my major gripe with the LSAT thus far. Another thing I don't like about the LSAT is the fact that it only has the 100 round capacity. This wouldn't be much of an issue if it reloaded a bit faster, but at 5.9 seconds, you need to be really cautious about when you choose to reload. Because of this, the LSAT is not going to be your best choice for a close quarters map or play style like Market there. And if I have any advice at all for using this weapon, it would be to play a little more conservatively and at longer ranges if possible. The LSAT is slow and steady, so you need to mirror that in your play. Medium and long range is really where the LSAT is going to be most effective, and a lot of that has to do with the low recoil and the accuracy of the LSAT. So probably the best thing about the LSAT is the low recoil pattern and the low first shot recoil multiplier, both of which are pretty low for the LMG class, so perhaps this is the main reason why you might choose the LSAT. If you like weapons with low recoil, then the LSAT it just might work for you. I think the only other LMGs out there with recoil as low as the LSAT are the QBB and the U100, statistically speaking anyway, both of which are not very good in their own right either. So yes, if you like low recoil, then the LSAT could very well be a viable choice for you, for sure. But again, you'll want to try and play at medium range, at least that's what I think, so you can really take advantage of this. Picking off guys from further distances is the way to go, although keep it in the back of your mind that sort of less than great time to kill, because it's even worse at longer range. So now we're getting into the second setup I'm featuring today. In my opinion, this is the better of the two, or perhaps the more useful at least. As I mentioned before, the LSAT does work best at medium or longer ranges, so obviously that's why I recommend a nice 3.4 or 4 times optic if that's your preference of your choosing. I'm pretty partial to the M145 myself, and not just because it's heavily used by the Canadian military, although here I am using the PKA 3.4 times optic, which is also pretty great if you ask me. The stubby grip, laser sight, and flash hider are actually still on there at the moment, but that was my mistake because I wanted to show you angled grip, heavy barreled combo because it's rather nice as well for medium and long range engagements. But there really isn't a lot of bad combinations when it comes to attachments on the LSAT, I don't think, because it is nothing if it isn't super controllable and accurate to begin with. The biggest problem with the LSAT is the low rate of fire and how it sort of works against you with the mediocre damage model. If anything would make this weapon better, I think a slight boost to either of those statistics would be just fine. If DICE were to up the rate of fire even to, say, 675 or 680, might just give the LSAT that little boost it needs. Because it definitely needs a boost somewhere, I'll tell you that much. And now for the moment I know you've all been waiting for. What does the scale of badassery have to say about the LSAT? Well, let's see here. 24 divided by 18, drop to 6, goes in 2 times the remainder. Okay, I've got it. The LSAT gets only 5 out of a possible 10 Jack Bowers, which brings it up to, you know, a Charlie pace. Could be decently badass at times, but is certainly no Saeed. But that's gonna do it for this week, guys. Feels good to be back, man. Feels good. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's review. Let me know what weapon you want to see next week on the scale of badassery in the comments below. And remember, I'm only looking for the primary weapon suggestion. If you really want, I guess you can leave me the secondary too, and I guess I'll try to touch on that as well for you. If you did enjoy the video, remember you can always show it a little love by clicking the like button down below, sharing with your friends. I love it when you do so. And as always, if you're new around here, I'd be honored to have your subscription, friend. Let's be pals, you and I. Thank you all very much for watching. My name is Griz, and as they sometimes say in my neck of the woods, that's all she wrote, bud. See you guys next week.